Hey everybody, it's Larry Steinhouse, and this is the Larry Steinhouse Show. I am so excited here. You guys are gonna find out all about how I've been losing my weight, and it turns out I'm not even losing weight. I'm losing fat. That's kind of cool too. But I want to introduce you to a guy who stole $10,000 from me. He stole it. He stole it. He stole it. He knew what was going to happen. He knew that I was going to lose the weight. Oh, actually, not the weight, the fat, right, John? I didn't lose the weight. I lost the fat. So this is John Jubilee, and a lot of you guys are asking me how I'm losing my weight, and I can tell you I'm blown away. I got a scale today, and I plateaued, but I really didn't plateau because I had a really long weekend, and you were with me, John, and you saw that I cheated almost every day on your program, but what I ate was very healthy. And when I say I cheated, I ate a bigger steak than I was supposed to eat, right? I had one French fry instead of, right? But I wasn't, but I was still, on target. And the fact was I just didn't lose any weight, but I kept, I didn't gain any weight. And you go away for a weekend, especially a weekend where you have all these food and all these great people. I had no problem with it whatsoever. But I want to talk about you, John, because you do something that I've never heard of before, and that was really what was the key, was that you are what you call a cellular health specialist. So what in the world is a cellular health specialist?
Well, to be exact, I'm a cellular health scientist.
Oh, scientist. I'm sorry.
So there's a science. There's a science, Larry, of cellular health, and I had no idea that this was a science, and probably most of the people that are listening to us have never met a cellular health scientist as well. Last Wednesday, I was so honored to be at the United Nations because I'm a cellular health scientist, and there, frankly, just aren't a lot of cellular health scientists out there in the world, and it was not really my objective or goal or mission in life to become one. However, you know my story, and if I could just share it quickly.
Yeah, please do. That's the idea.
With your listeners, that I was in pain 21 years ago, and my waist was 10 inches bigger. I had high blood pressure. I was bone on bone in my knees. My cartilage was just gone. My kids called me Mr. Rice Krispie Dad. Snap, crackle, and pop, walking down the hallway, and I mean, it was brutal, and I had a lot of financial success, and so I had the money to spend on all these programs, and I did. I spent the money on every program you can imagine. I tried it. And people would say, well, why would you spend all that money? I'd look at it in retrospect and realize I was so desperate. I mean, I was buying whatever they were selling, and now I realize what I was buying was false hope. I was really trying to buy some hope of something that would actually work. And Larry, in the midst of my desperation, and really I was just in a dark place in my life. Nothing was working, or actually, I can't say it didn't work. Everything worked for a minute.
For a minute, right?
Yeah, for a minute. And that's like, it's just horrible, because you know you're going to succeed for a minute, but you're going to go right back. And so that was my experience. But in my frustration, in that moment of despair, all of a sudden it hit me that, I'm going to go research this stuff myself. And God gives all of us different gifts. You're incredibly, gifted with your financial insights and wisdoms and strategies and how you can put things together, and then how you communicate. You have those gifts, and those are truly, I believe, God-given gifts.
Thank
so
you.
Rare to be able to do what you do. And I love it that you share your gift, by the way, and thank you for sharing your gift, with people. And I'm just looking at, your head is half the size that it was. I mean,
It's you're right. I gotta show you. Yeah, yeah, you're right. I look at myself, and I think I can actually zoom in on it actually, which is kind of funny. But you're absolutely right. I look at my face, and my face really is smaller. It's amazing that my face is that much smaller. Sorry if you guys just got an insight into my nostrils there. But, but yeah, you're right. It is small. You're absolutely everything about me is smaller. I find it amazing. Like my rings fall off. Like so you take this, it just like comes right off, and and before it didn't. I had to like put it on or put it off.
Yes.
My pants. I can't stand up. But if I undid my belt, not only would my pants fall off immediately, but they're probably still 2 or 3 inches too big, which is unbelievable. Considering that these same pants that I'm wearing right now, I couldn't close when I met you. I actually, and most people don't know this. This is kind of weird. I'm gonna tell you something wild. So when I, all right, I'm getting embarrassed, but I couldn't close my pants. I had to close my belt. So and put it over the button, because I couldn't close the pants. And these were my fat pants.
Oh my word.
So my fat pants were too big on me. Were too small on me. I would have had to buy the next size if I didn't meet you. So although I paid a lot of money to you, and we'll talk about that in a minute, which is an hysterical story in itself. Yes. But at least I now. It's like it's so different. It really is. It's so different. Everything the way I feel is different. I can run up and down stairs now, and I've I'm sitting here and I'm gushing over you. This is pretty awesome. Tracy's saying it's time for new clothes, Larry. Yeah, I know. It's really funny, but my goal is another 20 pounds. So I'm afraid to buy the clothes at the moment because I'm thinking I want to lose the other 20 pounds. That's why I haven't bought new clothes yet. But anyway, so I'm sorry. I kind of like went off on a tangent. I forgot where I was. But that's what happens when you've been doing this since 8 o'clock in the morning, right?
No, you're doing awesome. And I was sharing with folks that you have an amazing gift, and you share it with everyone. And when I was in grade school, one of my teachers, after I gave a stand-up book report and basically quoted 3 pages out of encyclopedia, she said, "John, I'm pretty sure you got a photographic memory there." And I got to algebra class, and I could take a whole test in about 60 seconds, and because my brain just skips all the steps, it goes to the bottom line. And that's really where the cellular health scientist came in, because in my research, when I went to research thousands of pages of science of everything of the human body, how metabolism works, the hypothalamus, everything came down to the cellular level. If your cells are healthy, everything in your body is going to be healthy. And so I designed a program, Larry, for myself, for my own pain, that could make me healthy. And I realized if my cells are healthy, I'm going to be healthy. And my focus was health. I didn't care how I looked. My whole goal was to get healthy from the inside out. And everyone in my family had arthritis. I had arthritis, high blood pressure, hypertension, no cartilage in the knees, lack of energy. I had all the same challenges that most people deal with. But I got great news for you. I came up with 10 things, a code. It's a code. It's like a combination of a giant safe. And if you have these 10 things together in the right sequence, the safe opens. And inside that safe is your genetic blueprint, my genetic blueprint, Larry's genetic blueprint. That's why your pants have fallen off, because you're coming to your genetic blueprint. And it's such a joyful thing because, next thing I knew, 88 days later, I felt amazing, and it just kept getting better. And then I reverse engineered. Through the years, I did this 21 years ago, Larry. It's hard to believe. 21 years ago. And by the way, I'm exactly the same size that I was 21 years ago.
This is what I really wanted to do. Tell everybody how old you are.
Yes, I'm 58 years old.
Do you believe this guy's 58 years old? I hope I looked that good. I hoped I looked that good when I was 40. It's too late, right? But that is fantastic. Everybody says that. No way. There's no way. But that is amazing. I'm just so impressed. Look, show me your guns. Go ahead.
All right.
There you go. There. Okay. Look at this guy. This guy's insane. It's wow. It's just wow. Really. So, by the way, I just want to let you know, Bronson Hickson says, John, you are the man. Jana Gary says, you made a great decision with John Jubilee. So I have to tell you that I did not make a decision with John Jubilee. It was not a decision. It was a bet. So for some of you who don't know about this bet, I've got to tell you about this bet. This bet is great, right? So we're sitting there, and basically we bet $10,000, or it was, I guess, whatever. I bet $10,000 that if I. So I was telling John, and just to give you a little bit of background, about 2 weeks before I met John, I was sitting in front of my class, my financial classes, and I said I was gonna, and I was talking about motivation, and I said I was gonna lose 40 pounds by the end of the summer. Right? And I love this because I said I was going to lose 40 pounds by the end of the summer, and I'm like, yeah, it's just, I got all excited and super. So a week went by after I said that, and I gained 3 pounds.
Whoops.
Right. Another week goes by, and I probably gained another 2 or 3 or whatever it was, and I'm here at this seminar, and I meet John Jubilee. We also met with Jenny and Craig, who we had earlier. We were all sitting around the table, and we were having this whole conversation. And what do? I tell him about this 40 pounds that I said I was going to lose, and John looks at me and goes, on my program, you'll lose 40 pounds of fat in a month. And I'm like, get the heck, there's no freaking way. So we bet $10,000 that I couldn't lose 40 pounds of fat in 30 days. Now, I want to let you know how stupid I am, and the stupid thing is I had full control of this bet, right? All I had to do was not follow the program, and I would have kept my $10,000, right? In fact, I could have followed the program. I could have not followed the program, and a month later, given him the money for the program, and I assume it would have cost me a lot less. But the idea was that I still didn't believe he could do it. And sure enough, I'm going to tell you, it was. What was it? We came up with 44 pounds of fat tonight.
Yes,
I think
you did.
44 pounds of fat. And I'm going to tell you that, and I really have to say it, I feel healthier than I've ever felt in my life. I'm not stronger. I'm healthier, and I want you to understand the difference. Like, it's not. I almost can't explain it, but I can. You say your cells get healthy, right?
Yes.
So I can feel on my skin. My skin's not dry anymore. My things work better. I go to the bathroom differently, and I don't want to get gross, right? But everything seems to work better. I run up and down stairs now. My knees don't hurt. And I told the story. And you really didn't know about this. And I told the story a couple of weeks ago when I did a testimonial for you. Was that I blew out my back a couple of years ago, about 10 years ago. I blew out my back, and I had my feet. My left foot has been numb ever since. And in the middle of the night, a few weeks ago, I woke up and I was in real pain in my foot. It was like really, really hurt. And what I realized, because it's happened a couple of times, what I realize now is I believe that the cells are regenerating either in my back or the nerves, I'm not sure which, and my foot is actually coming back to life. And that's why I'm in pain every once in a while in my foot. Now, understand, it's not comfortable pain. I'd rather not be in pain. But at the same time, when I touch my foot in certain places, I can start to see or start to feel that it's starting to work again, which is kind of neat. It's just kind of neat. It's just like a great byproduct. The other thing that I've noticed with you and your program is the weight loss is not really the goal. And the fat loss is, I agree, but it's even the health. You're and this is what he's going to do. So I want you all to understand what he's going to do. He's going to reel you in and say you have to lose weight because you're fat. Now that's really what you're thinking. That's not really what he's thinking. And I got to admit, because what my trigger was, hey, I'm fat, but my real thought was, hey, I'm now healthy. I'm not. I'm no longer overweight. I mean, I'm still overweight compared to what I should be, but I'm now healthy. I'm not, it's very, very different. And the byproduct, I believe, of his program is losing weight. The program is not a weight loss program, which I think is amazing about this program. So tell me about why cellular health is so important and hydration is so important.
Yes, and Larry, you really did. You hit it dead center. That's exactly, what I really teach is let's get healthy at the cellular level. A side effect of getting healthy at the cellular level is you are going to metabolize fat and fat only. And part of my bet with Larry also was that he would not lose one drop of water. Now, if all of us will just be honest with ourselves just for a minute, think about every diet we've ever been on, all of us. The first 10 pounds we lose is what?
Water weight.
Of course
Yeah.
it is. Come on. We know it, but we don't want to admit it, right? We just want to feel good and kind of psych ourselves out. We get on that scale, it's 10 pounds lighter. But we know. And that's like saying, I'm happy to be a raisin. I'm happy to be a raisin. I'm happy to be shriveled up on the inside, and now I'm dehydrated, and I'm going to be happy about it.
So I love when you say that. So explain what you mean by being a raisin, or your organs being a raisin. Explain what you mean by that.
Yeah. So just picture all of your organs, your kidneys, your pancreas, your heart is an organ. And just picture they're supposed to be like this big juicy grape. They're supposed to be fully hydrated. 50 to 70% of your body's supposed to be water. Healthy hydration inside your cells, which are inside every organ. But when you lose water weight, that big juicy grape shrivels up like a sun-dried raisin. And now you're all shriveled up on the inside like a dead stalk of corn. And that's why every person that gets healthy at the cellular level and hydrates at the cellular level gets cured of their high blood pressure. It reverses. Because picture a coffee stirrer, like a little black or little red coffee stirrer, how skinny they are. And then picture the size of a straw. That's what happens in our arteries. So the blood's trying to flow through that skinny thing when you're dehydrated. And then we make your artery the size of a straw when you get hydrated at the cellular level. And something I love to share with people so that they can understand and not keep doing the same insane behavior. People believe, Larry, they get hydrated by drinking water, and they really don't. Because I've had clients that were drinking 3 gallons a day of reverse osmosis, ionized Kangen water, high alkaline, high pH, and they're like, how could I drink 3 gallons of water a day and not be hydrated? And I'm just a scientist. I don't care what the truth is. I don't care what it is. I just want to know what it is, and I want to share the truth with you. And here's the truth. When your cells are as hard as a marble, you could pour 3 gallons of water over a bunch of marbles, and all that water just goes straight through. That's why you're just going to the bathroom and peeing all the time, because all the water just goes straight through that body, rolls right across those marbles, and none of it is uptaking. But through this 10-step, this code of these 10 things that I teach, your cell becomes like a sponge. And it uptakes that healthy hydration. That's why when Larry mentioned his skin feels amazing. Well, his skin feels amazing because now his spongy cells are uptaking that hydration, and it literally changes our skin. And when that hydration begins to come into those cells, then those cells go from raisins, they go from that crunchy, that all shriveled up raisin to that big, beautiful balloon. They're like big, beautiful balloons floating around in your body instead of rotten, smashed tomatoes. And that's where the health comes in. And it's a shocking thing, Larry. You're a numbers guy, but so this will resonate with you, is that every diabetic in America is 46% hydrated or lower. That literally the number one cause of diabetes is dehydration. That when a pancreas gets above that.
So what you're saying is they have 46% or less percentage body water. Right?
Correct.
So
correct.
if you took all the parts out of the body and you measured them all separately, the body water would be less than 46%.
Correct.
So here's an interesting question for you. What is a healthy body water percentage?
Yeah, all of us need to be 50 to 60% hydrated. Yeah, if you're 47, you're at least in a safe range, but 50 and above is a healthy range. And for women, it's a little bit more. Muscles are 50 to 70% water. So when we measure hydration in a man that's at 50 is really at about 55. So, and girls don't have as much muscle mass. So for girls, they want to be around that 55 range, but for men, 50 to 60, women 50 to 60. But if a man's at 51%, he's in great shape.
So let's talk quickly. What was my body water percentage? Do you remember when you measured me? By the way, he measured me. He goes to we're in a restaurant, right? We're having dinner. But he's eating a pepperoni pizza. That's a different story. I don't have time to get into that. He's eating a pepperoni pizza, and we have this whole conversation. He measures me. He goes into his car. He gets a special scale that will measure your body water percentage. and I believe it was 39 point something, 39.6, 39, whatever it was.
Yeah, Larry, you were in the high 30s, which is really dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
It's really dangerous. I mean, a lot of people that are watching me, think about it. Think about what Larry and I are talking about right now, and think if you know somebody that is around 50 years old that just dropped dead. And I am telling you, the reason that people just drop dead, they're dehydrated. All it takes is one organ shutting down, and people just wake up dead.
Well, obviously they don't wake up, right? But
Well, they wake up somewhere.
Oh, thank you. That's well said. Well said. There you go. It's interesting because I had no idea. And in fact, my body water percentage this morning was 51.1%. I got on the scale just so I could tell you it's 51.1%.
Congratulations!
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. And it's amazing. I've been noticing that I feel healthier, I look healthier. It just goes on and on and on. Now, we have unfortunately, we have about 4 minutes. But what are some of the things that people can do right away to start changing their lifestyle, to start understanding that this really is as important as it should be?
Well, the first thing is stop doing the same things that have not gotten you healthy. Stop focusing on and doing the false hope insanity cycle of just trying the next new thing. One thing that, Larry, that you said, and thank you for being so transparent, with everybody here, because the reality is, it doesn't cost $10,000 to do the program. Right. Like Larry said, he could have just bought it, but no, he's Larry Steinhouse. He has to do everything over the top, and guess what? He's the first one to tell you, and obviously invited me on his show because it is worth $10,000, but it doesn't cost $10,000 to do the right thing.
In fact, I want my $10,000 back for all this advertising you're getting, but that's a different issue. So I have your website up. I know you can't see it, but I have your website up on the screen. So tell us a little bit about what they can do. Then when they go there, what we have? Yeah, when they go to your website, where should they start? I see a big thing that says "Get Healthy." Click here now.
Yeah, that's what they should do. They can just click on there. And let me just quickly say to everyone that's watching, I don't want to take anybody's money, but I do want to help people get healthy. So here's my promise and my commitment to you. And I will ask you a simple question: If it works, is it worth it?
And I'm going to say it was worth it for me. For $10,000, it was worth it for me because I'm healthier. Look, how much is life worth? And it's as simple as that. I mean, I know you've given the example of Steve Jobs. How much would Steve Jobs give the day before he knew he was going to die? How much of his money would he give to live longer?
I think he'd stroke an $8 billion check.
I believe so.
I truly do.
And it's too bad you weren't there to let him know.
I surely do. But I would share this with everyone. If it works, is it worth it? And I hope you're saying yes, like Larry is. And so if it works, will we be friends? Well, Larry and I are great friends.
That's true. We've become great friends. In fact, I see John every day, but he doesn't see me every day. And so John has a great program where he actually sends you a motivational video every day, which is part of his program, which I think is fantastic. And I love the motivational video. And John goes really into his story of his life into those motivational videos. He reaches into the depths of stories when he was a kid, about how he adopted some children. I mean, it's just really cool that you actually get to know John at a cellular level. How cool is that?
Hey, well,
right?
Well, totally. So I'm making a commitment to you that. And if for any reason it doesn't work for you, I'll just give you back your money. It's just that simple.
And I believe he would. I know that about John, and I've seen who he's helped and some of the people he's helped. But at this point, I got to cut you short. I'm so sorry. I hate to do it. But
love it.
But I still got another. Looks like 2.5 more hours to go of people that I'm interviewing all day.
Well, spectacular. Well, Larry, I'm so honored to be here with you, brother, and always love to spend time and thank you for allowing me to be part of your life, and thank you for being a great friend.
Well, thank you, man. Wave to everybody now.
All right.
All right.
Do this again.
I love it. There you go.